3, 2, 1. What's up, everyone? It's your boy Tyler. Welcome to another episode of Drawn Talk. And guys, we already have 8 people already chilling. That's awesome. That always makes me feel good that you guys are waiting for the show to start. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know if the connection's good and whatnot, and what we need to do to improve the show. Why does it say that I'm off air? No, I'm off. I'm on. All right, guys. We have a really fun episode today. We're going to be talking about how to manage a comic book project, and if we have time, we're also going to get into some other goodies. But real quick, I just got some things I want to announce. First thing is, remember that the show is going to be revamped May 1st. And if you want, let me tell you guys what I mean by revamp, because I got a couple of people DMing saying, like, what's the show? Like, what do you mean by the show? And I have a lot of creators saying, like, hey, can I come on the show and promote my book? And I'm saying, yes, I just don't know when, because of how the show is going to be. So the show is going to be more entertaining. The show is going to have more drawing. I do a ton of talking on this show, very little drawing, and I'm sick of getting made fun of. So there's going to be a lot of there's going to be one entertaining video throughout the week, and then we're going to have one live show in the week. When the live show is, I don't know. When that entertaining video will be, I don't know. I'm deciding if it's a Monday or a Wednesday. And so let me give you an example of what one of the episodes I'm working on right now. It's called the Apex Art Challenge. So if you don't know what Apex Legends is, it's a battle royale video game, and basically, I record myself playing a bunch of games, and I'm awful at it. And for every kill I get, is going to be a panel for a 1-page Apex Legends fan fiction comic, 1 page. And then once I get all the kills, right now I'm at 3 kills. I have 2 more games to play, but man, I am struggling. It was out of 10 games. I've only killed 3 people because I suck. So right now the comic is at 3 panels. If I can get 2 more kills, that's a good comic book page. And then the video will show me drawing. Will show me drawing the comic book panel, the pages. I'll then have it free to download, and then I'll also do a pinup of one of the characters, and then I'm going to give away the art for that. And that's going to be it's going to be more entertaining. It's going to be more fun. It's only going to be like a 12 to 15 minute show. It's going to be exciting. I'm hoping we're going to be able to reach more of an audience besides just independent creators. So yeah, and then the second thing, guys, is to go check out the Handyman. I will put the link in the description right now. But the Handyman, guys, is the Mexican John Wick meets Home Depot or Lowe's, wherever you get your tools from. We're at $3,500, 130 backers, guys. It's Drawn by Pencil for Life. Brad is a huge member of the indie comic book community. He's a phenomenal artist. He's colorblind, so he does all of his stuff in traditional gray tones. He's been working really hard on this, and we got 10 days to go for this. 10 days to go, and it's run by yours truly, your boy Tyler. So you guys go check that out. Link in the description. And I just want to say hi to those who are here. We have let's see, Don O the Gamer. Okay, also Tyler, my name is Don O the Gamer. It's short for Donovan. Okay, dude, I'm so sorry. I keep getting your name wrong every time you're here. We got Shinomi Raccoon in the house. We got Weston Nadell here, and we got Coffee. How you doing, Coffee? And then we got my boy Britton here. He says it sounds so absurd that I'll read it. That's awesome. That's what I like to hear, Britton. So sweet, guys. I hope that you guys like the new format of the show. We're still going to be talking about comics. We're still going to be talking about making comics. There's going to be more drawing, but we're also going to bring on creators to talk on the show. We're just trying to figure out how that's going to go. So sweet. So guys, let's get into the topic that we're talking today. We're talking about project management. But before we talk about that, even though I just said we're going to talk about that, but we're not, because I'm going to bring on my guest, Lonnie Webb. He is the creator of a Kickstarter called The Killingworth. Did I pronounce that right, Lonnie?
Yeah. Killingworth. And that's
awesome.
That's spelled with an I instead of an O.
So, guys, the link is in the description. I'm also going to put it in the chat right now. Lonnie, tell us a bit about, tell us in 2-3 minutes why people should be backing and checking out The Killingworth.
Okay. So, Killingworth is a series about how there's a colony world. It's far from Earth, and because of a failed weather machine, monstrous oceans. Monsters are coming out of poisoned oceans, and they're hunting people and doing badness to the countryside. The broken weather machine basically causes the atmosphere to rain battery acid, and these things are hunting people. In the midst of that, a casket is found. In the casket, from the casket, this man emerges who has no past, no future. All he really knows about the situation is he is in the wrong place. He doesn't belong where he is, and that's page 1 of Killingworth. Through the course of the 4-issue arc, we are tearing this poor guy apart. We're tearing the self-worth of this person apart, and attacking him at a thriller subconscious level. Meanwhile, lots of cool action is going on, and we get to look at some pre-cyber punk 80s type visuals.
And you're the writer and artist, correct?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. And then you have Gail.
Wendy Gale is the editor.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I was like, Gail. I was like, Wendy Gale, is that Chuck Pino's wife?
Yes, it is.
And then who's doing? And then are you coloring it as well?
I did do the colors on this one. I am not claiming to be a good colorist. I did do the colors though.
No, gotcha. That's a lot of work, man. That's a lot of work. Doing all aspects of the comic. I've been there, and I do that as well. It's a lot of work. So I tip my hat to you, man.
Thank you, and mine to you.
So guys, go check this book out. The link is in the chat. Link is also in the description. He has 20 days to go. And with a goal of only 750. So you guys can we can get this book. You get a PDF at PDF image. Okay. That's actually better than the thank you, guys, because normally you just get a thank you. At least you get an image. But for $5, guys, you get the PDF of the issue. How many pages is it?
It's the story is 22 pages. PDF, I believe, is 24, 26.
Ooh, there you go, guys. So $5 gets you the PDF version. $12 is going to get you a physical copy, guys. If you guys like what you're seeing on here, please go check it out. Support independent comic books. We got Soy Chips New York's here saying hi. What's up, dude? All right, so Lana, you chose the topic today, which is on project management. And we're going to talk about that in comics. I guess my first question that I have is, how long did it take you to write this, pencil it, ink it? Are these actual inks, or did you darken your pencils on the software?
Oh no, these are real inks.
Okay, so real, and then ink it, and then color it, letter. I mean, how long did it take you to do this? Is the book complete, by the way?
Oh yeah. The book is done. Did I send you a review copy?
You might have, and I might have lost track of it. I might have lost track of it, honestly, in my huge email folder. If I did,
if you feel the itch to review it and I haven't, send me an email. So a little bit of backstory. I suffered a stroke a few years ago, and I was heavy into IT. Had to retire because I couldn't keep up with the young people, and my hand shakes. To get around that, I now draw on the semi-cursed iPad Pro, but it's the best electronic surface that I can find to do that kind of thing with. That means no undo. Or rather, I do get undo without tempera paint. I don't like to get high on that stuff. So I draw in ink as much as I can because it's easier for my eyes to work. Slight handicap. That's what that means. Mm-hmm. But that means that I probably do 2 layers on anything anyway, so that I'm drawing in ink and then suppressing the color and then inking it again.
Gotcha. So I'm with you. I'm the same thing. Like I always like to start with inks.
Yeah.
If I'm working digital, I have like a really rough like pencil layer, and then I like to go straight to inks.
So,
but for the cover though, you drew traditionally.
I went both directions at the same time, and what was on the iPad won. So I was drawing both traditionally and on the iPad, different ideas, different layers, and the ultimate decision was to go with what I amalgamated on the iPad. Just from snapping different layers and different pieces of it. If you look at the pencils on the website, you can see that the tower is significantly different than the tower on the finished cover.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I'm really dumb, but I'm like looking at it and I'm like, no, it looks like the tower and them is saying I can see some differences.
The differences are probably just the changes you would make inking.
Okay, gotcha. It looks great though.
I'm overpicking on myself probably. The time it took me to do all 3 major steps of work was 3 months. So I chose to do the Marvel method. I bullet pointed out what I wanted the characters to come into the page with, what I wanted them to go out with. And I drew that, and then I put the dialogue on. In some cases, I already knew my dialogue. In some cases, I didn't care. I just wanted to draw what I wanted to read. And
just let the story flow.
Let the story happen. Yeah. Kind of like Douglas Adams did with Hitchhiker's Guide. And you know, there's probably some drugs involved in his case. But
oh yeah, tons. tons. So many drugs. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually not a fan of the book or the movie, because I was just like, what is going on? This is absolute bonkers. But he had the story he wanted to tell, and he let it flow.
Yeah.
So I give him that for the art credit, but I was like, what is happening?
The only time that he got off the rails is when he tried to stick to the script.
Yeah.
So from a project management perspective, as a project manager, you probably hear a lot of noise right now. There's a herd of children running in and out of the door.
Oh no, you're good. I can't hear a thing, actually.
Excellent. So I'm a certified project manager. What I do when working with other creators, I lay out a framework of what I know they're able to do in terms of time. So with myself, I know that I can deliver inks in 2 to 3 calendar days. So I figured that out. And this is where people who worry about establishing a publishing ladder for their comic probably want to start taking notes. A day is 6 hours. And the reason for that is you never get an 8-hour day. You never get a 10-hour day without interruptions, without phone calls, without emails, the stuff on Facebook. Count on 6 hours of effort a day. You might get ahead, but most of the time you don't. So in my case, I allow a maximum of 3 days to get an inked page out. If I'm splitting that up between people, they may each need 2 days. There may be other complications. We plan for that. And I note out what the amount of effort is going to be and then map that to a calendar. The reason I do that is the calendar knows when weekends are. As a project manager, I don't care about weekends. I care about effort. And then I map that to the calendar. That tells me when holidays are. People tell me when they can't do things. And I can actually make a meaningful projection as to when the book will be ready to print. And that works. It works amazingly well, just keeping in mind the 6-hour day, if people have a full day, keeping in mind effort versus calendar day, and I don't use any tools. I don't use Microsoft Project. I don't use Basecamp or that Bring Home the Milk website, wherever that was. It's as simple as what you can put on a yellow piece of paper and follow it. It's a list.
Mm-hmm.
The most intensive tool I use for project management is Task Warrior on the command line of my Mac. And
Task Warrior.
You've never used it. You've never needed it. Tools aren't that important when it comes to managing projects. Managing the people, managing communication is the #1 deal.
Mm-hmm. I like though that I guess essentially basically timed yourself, that you know that you as a creator can do an inked page in 3 days. Yeah. 3 6-hour work days. And I think that for all independent artists, we should all have ourselves timed like that. We should all be able to time ourselves like that. And before I give the reason why, I just want to shout out to some people who are here. We have Allison McClone here. How you doing, Allison? We got Moby's here, and then we also got my boy LP, Fireball Comics, saying talk. And then we got Bill Masuku here.
What happened to Ichthus and Deadmau5?
Ichthus, I don't know where Ichthus is right now. Homeboy might be doing something important. I don't know where Deadmau5 is. That's cool that you know him though. Do you know Ichthus?
I don't know him. I just heard you bantering back and forth with him during a chat.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, the Ichthus is awesome. We DM each other every now and then. But Shinobi Raccoon says, "Time yourself." Yeah, time yourself. And so I guess where's it? Hold on real quick. Let me pull this out. Let's see if I can find it in here, guys. So when I say time myself, I wanted to time myself to see if I could do a fully inked page in a day. And if I can't find this, it scares me because then I don't even know where it is in the first place. Oh, I found it. So because in the professional comic book world, you are, and I guess more or less expected to bust out an entire page if you're a penciler a day. So I like to pencil and ink, and so I wanted to see, could I do it? Could I do this all in one day? So right here, let me get my camera to focus. Right here, this is some sample page. This is going to be a Punisher story, but then I got bored and I got held up with life. And so I wanted to see, could I pencil this? Could I pencil this and ink it in a day? And this page took me around 5 to 6 hours to do that. So I now know that at a page at this level, and it's a pretty simple page, I can, if I had 5 to 6 hours, I could bust it out. I could bust it out if I need to, if I had the time. I typically don't have 5 to 6 hours on a given day because I have a day job I have to go to. But when I take on hired work, when I'm working with Wes Nadell on Undead Row, and then I say, hey, he's like, the book is we know the book is like 145 pages. How long is this going to take us? I'm able to like map it out. Okay, I think this, I'm going to be able to give you this amount of pages each week, or this amount in a month. That's how long it's going to take, and we plan it out, and then you set yourself a deadline. And I think it's because I've timed myself just like you've timed yourself as well. And I think that's super important for creators, especially if we're going to be hired on if we're going to take on hired work. You want to be able to tell the creator that you're working with, hey, I can do this amount in this amount of time. You're going to get the work at this time. That's
an important part of the communication aspects. As someone who's coordinating a ladder or a project, I need to hear believable, real life expectations from the people doing it. And as a person doing it, I need to give real life expectations so that everybody has something to work with. And with my silly little formula, which you can have your own. My silly little formula of 6-hour workdays is going to give some creep ahead instead of creep back, and puts us in a situation where, hey, if I get sick, it doesn't hurt anybody because I will probably have caught up and gotten ahead of myself at some point, right? So
that's a good way to actually put it, because I guess with my quote unquote said I could do a page a day, I don't take into account the fact of like life. I get a cold. My wife's pregnant. She has a baby like right now. You don't take into account that. And I guess if you think about it, like if you guys if you in the chat, we got Cross Comics here. How you doing, Cross? If you like if you put on your poll list right now the Doomsday Clock, I think it got put back another like four months.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been I'm so like I don't even know what's going on with the story at this point. I really don't know what's going on with the story, because I just, when a story is broken up, I'm getting the next like 20 pages 5 months later. I'm so lost. I might as well just reread the entire thing. And I don't think DC did a good job with their quote unquote their project management. I don't think they planned it out. I don't think they had a good enough buffer of pages or issues where they could comfortably say, yeah, let's launch this. This is going to come out monthly. I know Image Comics, they won't even let you like put out the first issue until that you have like 3 to 4 issues finished. Like ready. I know that Image Comics says that. And that's why most Image Comics books are never, ever, ever late, because they expect you to have a 3 to 4 month buffer. Robert Kirkman for Oblivion Song had 13 issues in the pipe before he launched issue number 1. That's how ahead he wanted to be, just in case. So, well, also, guys, I'm watching the stream. If I'm blurry, let me know, and I'll go fix my internet. Just let me know in the chat. Say, Tyler, your freaking internet's But yeah. Well, what do you think? What do you think about projects being delayed like that much, Lonnie?
That to me sounds like one of two things happened. Either they did put in buffer and they managed to buffer, which is a mistake. If you're managing to buffer, then you're already in trouble. If you're managing to effort and you set a production date ahead outside of your calendar for getting the effort done, then you're on track. If you're counting on buffer to keep you on track, that buffer gets eaten up very easily, and that's human nature, but people do it.
Because you're just like, all these pages, I can take a day off.
Yeah.
Then you take another day off.
Yeah.
And you're screwed.
Now, the 4 month behind thing on Doomsday Clock, that sounds like some product mismanagement may be happening between the cracks. Oh, did I lose you?
Absolutely.
You're frozen on my end.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
Google Hangouts, guys, by the way, that's another thing about why we're changing the format is I freaking hate Google Hangouts, and I'm done with it. And starting the month of May, like, we will never be using Google Hangouts like ever freaking again. The last creator that I had on the show just cut out. Like, we just stopped going live. So yeah. Just know that, guys. Like, the days of Google Hangout are ending. I'm so freaking sick of it. We have Shinobi Raccoon says, "Wow, Doomsday Clock's been delayed that much, and people are bitching about Cyberfrog. How ironic." To be fair, though, Shinobi, I'm one of those people who are like, I'm not an EVS fan at all, and I didn't back Cyberfrog. But how I think of Cyberfrog is that it was supposed to be a 48-page comic. He gave himself 6 months. He gave himself like 5 months to do it. He still hasn't produced it. It's been over. It's almost going to be a year, but by the time he finally releases it, he's done 3 more Indiegogo campaigns. He keeps milking people money. I mean, yes, he's made $800,000 on his Indiegogo campaign on Cyberfrog, but it's like, great, cool that you keep getting everyone's money. Where's the book, though? I think that's a lot of people's big gripe with it. And yeah, everyone's saying Google Hangouts does suck. I agree, guys. This is AIDS.
So for on the topic of the crowdfunders, I'm not putting books up for crowdfunding until I've got the PDF in my hand.
That's so smart.
Yeah.
That's what everyone should do, by the way, if they can. If they can.
Yeah. It's just me, so it's very easy to do that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And same with me, guys. Like it's easy. Like, you know, Lonnie, he is he is like the creator. He's the whole package. If I put out a book, I know I've been putting out Demons lately, which my book Demons, I do have an artist, Travis Martinez, but for like the hard line, you know, that's all me. And so I agree with Lonnie. If you as a creator can do this, and if you as an even collaborative team can do this, don't put out a Kickstarter or crowdfunding project until you have that book completely done in your hand PDF, because it just makes things a lot simpler.
Takes the pressure off your marketing campaign and any decisions you have to make after the fact.
For sure. And then, you know, it gives you an opportunity to like send out to reviewers. It sends, you know, you can get, you know, you can show people that you actually have a book finished. I mean, nothing's worse than doing a Kickstarter project and waiting 8 months for the book to get made and then another 2 months for it to get printed. And then by the time it lands on your doorstep, I've had Kickstarter comic books coming to my doorstep. I'm like, what is this? Oh yeah, I backed it a year ago. Cool. Like, yay. Cute. And then like, you know, chuck it. So I have a question. What made you go with Kickstarter over like maybe another platform like Indiegogo?
At the time that I selected Kickstarter, it was I was looking for the way to a vehicle to get more eyeballs on the project. So Kickstarter was what I went with. At the moment I made the decision, it was the more recognizable, the more responded to in terms of people that I was talking to. Indiegogo, though, I think has come up from behind and is at least tied on reputation. So I don't see a tremendous difference other than the fact that Indiegogo can carry a store after the fact. My website already has a store, so I don't care.
I like the fact that Kickstarter has a bigger built-in audience. Mm-hmm. Like there are people who live on Kickstarter. Like I'm not buying anything else on Kickstarter because that's just their general nature. Sorry guys, I'm like looking at I'm like texting my wife like, are you FaceTiming? Like, are you on Netflix? Like, why is the internet? Why is this connection so bad? Guys, I think it's freaking Google Hangouts. This program's AIDS. And we're gonna have to get rid of it. So when you were how far along then are you at Killingworth? Have you only finished issue 1? Are you working on issue 2? What's the production schedule on the future books, I guess?
I am on track, I hope, to have all the inks for issue 2. Let's call it the end of May. That may be a little too tight, but let's call inks end of May, and then a colored book in at the end of June.
Oh, well, dang, guys, that's awesome. And then, well,
keep in mind, this is drawing is how I'm reconnecting the things up here. The stroke took a whole lot of my memories, and but the comics is what gave me back my hands. So I drew for about 2 years. Started to redevelop control of my hands, and then started formatting the things that I drew into comic books. The first big book I did was Mr. Tatters, and it's on my website, and it reeks of rough graphics, but the story's good.
Do you I mean, so that with your first book, what did you learn? What was the biggest thing you learned from doing your first book, and then deciding I'm going to do a bigger story? That, you know, a four issue story, and then, you know, you have a goal of, you know, hopefully maybe doing 6 issues. That's a big story.
Yeah.
You know, and in indie comics, not many creators even get past their very first issue, let alone their second. what was the big factor of you saying what was the big thing that made you go, I want to tell a bigger story?
Well, Mr. Tatters was a 90-page story, so
that's a long one. Never mind.
Yeah, that was a graphic novel. And I did that on purpose. But the biggest thing I learned is that it's like building a house, man. If you build a house on a good pad, on a good foundation, you can do a lot of things wrong with the house and still have a good house. When you're building a comic book or any other kind of published work, if you have a good story, you can screw up a lot on inks. You can screw up a lot on colors, because I did, and people will read the thing for the sake of a good story. If you saw my review today on Neil Gaiman's last book, The American Gods Moment of the Storm, I think that's what it was. It's the artwork is just terrible in that book, but you've still got his words. Neil Gaiman's going to sell that book by himself. The artists are not. I don't know why Dark Horse is using people like that, but
I'll just say it. The state of mainstream comics, they're fine with
mediocrity.
They're fine with mediocrity these days.
But
I'm actually looking at your review right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Of it. I'm looking at it, but I'm also looking at art. Is that really art, that page? You kidding me?
Which page? I can't see what you're looking at.
Let me share my screen, guys. And we try not to bash artists on here, but we did it once. We might as well do it one more time. You're lying, by the way. Really it?
I still can't see it.
Oh, hold on.
You're frozen.
Crap, guys. All right. Thought we.
Is that from my review? I know what you're looking at.
This no, I clicked on the website, the Geekorama.
Yeah.
And that is art.
That is the art. Now it's two images I snatched off of two different pages. But the reason that I stacked them like that is so that you can see that is the same van on both pages. They just did a cheap Photoshop trick and dropped that same image in 3 times. And these are comics that they're paying the artist, and this is the type of work they're turning out. Yeah, they went to paint the flowers.
No shadows right here.
Well, it looks like Xeroxed photographs.
This is so bad.
In the 90s, the Sandman era, that's not what we would have gotten. We would have gotten something a little more demanding in terms of imagery. The wording is there. The wording is giving us the imagery. We see, I believe that's Odin's 2 birds. We see them. We see some other spirit walking creatures. But, I mean, come on. I can't do that. Rob Anderson would cut my nuts off if I did that. This is gosh, man, that's so awful, and it kind of hurts. These are the people that had Star Wars a few years ago.
Yeah, this man, and I'm sure this guy, this guy's done better artwork. I'm sure.
They must have ridden him too hard for the deadline. That's all I can guess.
Like, this is his artwork. Well, right here.
That all looks beautiful.
Yeah. So how can you? That's when you. That's just when you know that the artist is. I don't know. I don't want to say given up, but they're making shortcuts because they're being rushed on something.
Yeah.
And that's bad project management because they're being rushed.
You've got Neil Gaiman on the page. You're underselling the source. But
exactly. I mean, if you're gonna have Neil Gaiman write something, you better have an artist who is gonna do that story justice. Hopefully the artist can do it justice, and that's so pathetic. That's not good. So I guess, guys, man, the stream, the quality, I'm like watching it. It's so like shoddy. I mean, people can. The nice thing is that this is just the talking portion of the channel. So if I was drawing, this would be the worst. But at least this people can listen to this like a podcast. So I guess the last question I have before we end the show is, what advice can you are a certified project manager, like this, like project management, being efficient, like this is just that's your life. That's what you bleed. What advice can you give to indie creators? A lot of people who watch the channel, they're new indie creators. They're wanting to make comics. They're realizing sometimes it's a bit hard. They realize how much time it takes to actually make it. What's a big advice you could give to these new creators to be able to handle their projects and get their books out on time, or even if it's not even on time, just to get their books completed in the first place?
Even if it's myself, I project manage myself. So when you're on a team, someone has to be the coordinator. Someone has to manage the communications. Get everybody on a Slack chat, Facebook chat, something, or a conference call, so that everybody's talking. And get tools out of the way. Don't let tools dictate what you're going to do, because that you get focused on working tools and working technology instead of doing the work. And if you take those little tips that we discussed earlier, I think that's a great way to just mentally compartmentalize the different tasks that have to get done. And number one job is talking. Everybody's got to be talking. Everybody's going to be talking real, and watch the scope creep, because you don't ever creep your scope backwards. That rarely happens. So that's in fact, a friend of mine and I call that hope creep. So
guys, that's such good advice, because one, I know everyone has this huge ass story that they want to tell. It's their Watchmen. It's their 100-issue story. And when you realize, one, how hard it is to even make one comic book, you'll realize soon after that your 100 pages aren't happening. Your 100-issue comic series isn't happening. I mean, we had one creator on the show forever ago, and I was talking with him. And he's like, yeah, my book has like 90 issues I've planned out, and even more. And I was like, oh, geez, like, what issue number are you working on right now? And he was like, number 1. And we said, okay, you think that you could do it smaller? And he goes, no, I have to do it this big. This is my very first comic. Got to go big. He created the first comic. It took him like half a year. Put it out, and it didn't get the reception he wanted. And I told him, I was like, hey, listen, like, I'm sorry that people didn't think your comic was very good. But put out issue 2, or maybe even just downscale, do something smaller. And he was just like, oh, like, I have 100 issues. I'm telling this 100 issues. And he finally, I think he put something on Facebook like, I'm done, like, no more comics, because the scope was too big. The scope was too big for him. Guys, do smaller do smaller things. I mean, Robert Kirkman says it best. Start with a 4-page story, then start with an 8-page story, start with a 12-page story, then do a 20-page story, then do like a 32-page one-shot, and then do like a 4-issue story. If you need to have those bicycle steps. Demons is an outlier for me. It was 14 issues. I was with the publisher at the time. 14, and then I thought we were going to keep doing that book. So 14 issues, and it's the ending. We then ended it at 14 issues. But I mean, look at the other projects that we're putting out. The Hardline, it's only 3 issues. Entity, it's only 5 issues. Other comics will probably like 4 issues. Keep it small. Keep it small, and know what you can do. And communicate with your team as well.
I like arcs. Every page is a story. If you can tell a 2-page or 2-book arc, if you can tell a 4-book arc, great. And I have characters that I think I can carry way beyond for a 4-book arc, but let's face it, I'm not yet seeing the performance on the Kickstarter to go and plan the next 90 issues. So, wow, that was an ambitious project for him to take on.
Yeah, but I like what you said, is that, you know, you keeping an arc, you know, do a 4-issue, guys, do it like a 4 or 5 issue story, end the story, end the arc, and leave it open where if you could tell another story, you could. Guys, Demons was originally 4 issues. 4 issues, I pitched it to the publisher, and then it was going to be a 4-issue story. It ended at 4 issue. If you picked up volume 1, you know it ends at issue 4, but then the publisher was like, hey, you want to keep going? And I was like, yeah, I left some room open for, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8. He goes, yeah, let's do that. And then after 8, he's like, you want to keep going? I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then we ended it at 14 because I said, no, I don't want to keep going. Shinobi Raccoon says, would it be advisable to plan out like smaller 4 issues? I know Alterna does that for their books. The reason why Alterna does that and any publisher does that, most comic books, Image, Marvel, DC, Alterna, and most publishing companies, they will tell a creator, yes, you have your big story. You know, yes, you can do a 32 issue story. All publishers will say that. All publishers will also say, leave room, make it so, write it the story so that if the sales aren't there, we can destroy this book at issue 5. And if after issue 5, if we can keep going, if we're making money, we'll do it. But if it can't, we kill it at issue 5. There's a lot of Image books where if you read them, you could tell that they were building up for something, and that issue 5 all of a sudden the story ends, and you're like, whoa. This book was not making sales. That's why. So do the same thing for us as indies. Plan out, do a 4-issue story, leave room for the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. And if sales go or you're just really passionate about it, then keep it up. So guys, once again, I'm going to put the Kickstarter link for Killingworth.
Yes, sir.
In the chat. Go check it out. If this is a comic that you want to check out, please do it. Also, you can go check out his website at throughcomic.com. I'll put the website in the chat.
Even if they don't like it, tell them to watch the Johnny Quest type of animation there.
Yeah, guys. You guys should honestly check out the Kickstarter video. It's really well done. There's animation and cool. That's what actually hooked me on it. Was I clicked on the video. A lot of people are saying that the video doesn't matter on Kickstarter, and the video does. I like the animation of the rain. It was super good. Coffee says, why can't you have passion and be professional? You can have passion, but passion is, if there's money involved, at some point there is money involved, you have to, sometimes passion has to go away. I mean, if you have 100-issue story and that's passionate, but but the sales are saying we need to stop at 5 and try something else, then professionally, and you know, a good business tactic is just to cut your loss at issue 5 and then try something else like that. Shinobi Raccoon says, seems like passion projects should be web comics, and web comics are a whole nother thing, guys. That's long-term investment, potentially huge ROI, return of investment. That takes a long time. Let's see. So yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. Go check out Lonnie's Kickstarter. Go check out his website. Guys, super sorry about working shitty Google Hangouts. We have like not to swear on the show, but I'm so done with Google Hangouts. It's literally like literal AIDS. If you have AIDS, I'm sorry, but this Google Hangouts is literal AIDS. So this is very hard. It might be my laptop, it might be my internet. I don't know, guys. It was doing great the other day. So, Lonnie, where can people find you on social media anywhere, or is it just your website?
People can find me at Lonnie Webb on Facebook, at Through Comic on Twitter, and the best thing is just to hit me in one of those 2 places. And of course, there is throughcomic.com. We have a contact page just like everybody else does, as well as a web store, and hopefully we can get Killing War through and make a nice series out of this. So thank you for introducing me to your viewers tonight. And sorry I didn't get to talk to Ichthus and Deadmau5.
Oh, they're awesome. Yeah, shame that Ichthus isn't here, but yeah, no problem. Coffee says, "Don't worry about swearing. That's okay. Your internet cut out and censored you." Oh, geez, man. That was my blood. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, remember to smash the subscribe button, like, and comment. I'll be recording a video sometime this week, posting it next week about our $200 writer giveaway that we're doing on the show. That's going to be happening May 1st. Also, starting May 1st is the show is getting revamped. One of the obvious changes we're doing is we're getting freaking rid of Google Hangouts, geez Louise. But then also the shows, there's going to be one entertaining episode that's 10 to 15 minutes long, and then there's going to be one live episode. Those days we're going to figure that out. And just an example of what the entertaining video would be is the first episode that we're filming, that I've been filming this week, is the Apex Legends Art Challenge. Apex Legends is a battle royale video game. Played 10 games. I've killed for every kill I get will be a comic book panel on a one-page comic book story. So right now I'm at 3 kills. I've got 2 more games left. Can I get hopefully 2 more kills so I can get 5 panels on this page? Who knows? And after we film that, I'll film myself drawing those comic book panels. I'll film myself drawing a pinup of one of the characters, and then we'll give away that art to someone in the comments. That is what we are going to be doing. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let's see. Where's my phone? Let me just see what we will have a show on, not on Saturday because I have an Easter egg hunt I have to go to for work. So if I don't post a video on Friday or Saturday, I'll see you guys on Monday, where we are going to be having Steph Cannon and Matt Knowles are going to be talking about their Kickstarter book, which I don't remember what it was because I get 1,000 emails about this stuff. All right, guys. Peace